Hello, my dear Aries. This is your love and spirituality reading for the time between April 1st and April 15, 2018, with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I have put astrological information for the month of April in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se, where you can also find and buy all the decks I'm using in this video. There is a subscription service up on my webpage that you can take part of if you want to learn more about spiritual growth, yoga, and tarot. So I used the Modern Spellcasters Tarot with Melanie Marquise and illustrated by Scott Murphy. And I will start shuffling your cards. So, Aries, when I open your deck here, I see Strength and Four of Pentacles. So it seems like you are a Tower of Strength right now. Strength card is it's kind of a very stubborn card. It's a person that's so in tune with the divine or their own instincts that they don't really budge, okay? And the Four of Pentacles is a person that doesn't want to budge either. So it's kind of a little bit like a miser. We can see this, he's having his treasure here. So it might be indicated that the divine is telling you that you're a little bit stubborn. We'll see. Okay. Or protective of yourself. So I call the divine with Love and Light. And here we have also the King of Wands together with the Strength card. It might be that some of you are dealing with a Leo or Sagittarius or another Aries. But what we can see here is that you are in your full strength, Aries. So King of Wands is usually Leo, and Strength is usually Leo, but it's obviously depicting you being the creator of your own life. So if you don't like what you're seeing, you kind of need to create something else, okay? So I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world. And here we have also Eight of Wands together with the Strength card. So now it kind of sees like, okay, the divine says that you are very strong, stubborn, protective, and you have a mission. Eight of Wands, it's something that you need to tell someone else or tell the masses. It's some kind of message. The Eight of Wands can sometimes also be outside energy coming to your into your life. It can be Uranus energy hitting you, and you actually have Uranus in your sign right now, and it's about to leave, but it usually leaves with some kind of gift. So it seems in the end of a period when we have had a planet in our sign for a very long time, we will kind of get the message of it all. So I'm thinking you are going to get the message of Uranus. It's going to give you a parting gift before it travels into Taurus. I believe it's going to travel into Taurus in when also Sun is in Taurus, like in May, maybe 15th of May or something like that. Okay. So I call the six elements: earth, wind, fire, water. Four of Wands, stability. Again, four. Four is connected to the Emperor. That is yours, your card, Emperor card number 4. So it's like you have been trained to become a leader. You have been trained to become some kind of pioneer or someone that needs to be very strong and yet in tune with their higher purpose. Okay, so fire, water, spirit, and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Aries viewers. So I want my dear Aries to have love in their lives. We have the Four of Pentacles again. So and the Tower. So it might be that some part of this tower that you have built up is not built on solid ground. It's actually you just trying to be not be humiliated, or you don't want to be in some kind of position that you're avoiding. It might be also you're avoiding to have unbalanced feelings, or avoiding someone else's critique, or you don't want to hear criticism. It's something here This to every fear that you find, every pain that you find inside of yourself, everything you fear or are scared of in some way, like that it will bring you pain, it's actually a doorway to the next level of your knowledge. So if you find that you're scared about something, stay with it and see what it wants to teach you. So if you're always feeling attacked, for example, by other people, they are always judging you, making you feel uncomfortable, stay with that. Okay, so what's the problem if people are attacking you and making you feel in certain ways? Can you stay with it? Can you get the knowledge out of it? Because it seems very important. Okay. So where were I? I want my dear Aries to have love in their lives and find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. Oh, so abrupt. It was done. Okay. So my dear Aries, I will just tune in for a few seconds here to you and this reading. Okay, so my dear Aries, this is your future there, and this is your now, and this is the past. So in the past we have Ace of Cups. So Ace of Cups is love, and what I'm thinking of here is that love can sometimes be stubborn, equally stubborn as you, Aries. So maybe there's some deep love that you try to protect yourself from. And it's a no-go is what I'm feeling, that if you love someone and they can't be in your life, it doesn't mean that you need to stop loving them. So Jesus once said, love your enemies as yourself. So you can also love your exes, the family members or friends that you can't be with no more. You can love them as you love yourself. I was actually telling this to someone in the comment section this morning. So, and this was the first thing I got in my mind when I saw this Ace of Cups card. So I'm thinking this is a message also for you. Okay. So here in the now we have the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords might be a Libra person or an air sign, but it's most probable a choice that you need to make. And it's kind of you're avoiding to make it because you don't want this imbalance again, what we saw with the Two of Pentacles. You don't want to fall out of balance. So it's like being between a rock and a hard place. It's like there's no really good options. And therefore this choice that you need to make is a little bit hard. And it might be that you have acted with silent treatment towards someone, or someone has acted with this towards you, because Two of Swords can sometimes be silent treatment. And it's like you're holding off for something. You have been very strong. I think you have been very courageous. Probably you have done something that you weren't able to do before, but it brings new problems. So but it's fine. Problems are fine. They are challenges, and it's not like your life is a problem or you are a problem, but life situations can be problematic sometimes, and it's because they want us to grow. Okay. So here in the future we have the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands is more your card than the King of Wands. She's like kind of the witch of the tarot deck. Queen of Wands is she has lived many lifetimes upon earth. She has a lot of experience, and she's very warm and generous, but she's equally feisty and fierce. So you can also compare her a little bit to a dragon. So she is warm and generous towards people, but as soon as she sees that they are not true, or they insult her or something, they are going to hear it. So it's going to bounce right back. So she's very strong like this. It might be that you have tried to temper yourself and tried to hold back things. Maybe you were not supposed to. Maybe you're holding back just a few things in your in yourself, and other things you let go of. Some people can be totally okay with showing rage or anger, but they are not okay with showing love or remorse. And some people can be very okay with showing love and remorse, but have problems with being stubborn and showing where your limits are, with maybe becoming angry or saying no, okay? So somewhere in the range of that, and also other, can be a lot of other things, like things that where you hold off, you don't want to tell people what you see, and you're keeping your mouth shut about something, or you can tell them certain things but not other things. So it's like you're choosing. And here we have also in the past the Two of Wands. So the past is probably Mars. This is first half of April, second half of April probably. So it will be a little bit different. The energy comes in and it goes out. It's not exact how the planets are moving. So it's like here is affecting a little bit, then it's affecting more and more and more. And some people will be like doing the thing that they were supposed to do already here, and some won't do it before they are here. So it will be different for you. And it's also different how you're affected by how your birth chart looks. So it's a lot of things to take into consideration. So some will be early with things and some will come in a little bit more or later. Okay, and here we have the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is a person that deliberately hold themselves back. They are using this anchorness, the stubbornness that we saw, the strength that we saw with the first card, Eight of Strength and Four of Pentacles. So it's like you're very strong and you live behind a wall. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing to live behind a wall. We need power and structure in our lives, but we also need to be creative and fluid. But here it seems like you're putting a lot of effort into holding back. And I don't feel like it's a bad thing. You're probably, as I said, trying to temper yourself. You're trying to get to know what's the right way to go, or the right choice, or what you're supposed to say in a certain situation, or how you're supposed to move on with a certain situation. And good leaders, they usually do this. They procrastinate a little bit, because the later they can take a choice, the more information they will have that will help them with said choice. So it's not a bad idea, but procrastinating too long will kind of make you maybe your beautiful waterfall freezes over, or the fertile earth becomes cement, or it can start to lose its power of life. Here we have a Two of Pentacles. So it was the card we saw when I shuffled. So Two of Pentacles is a situation again where you try to balance yourself. You might try to balance two different situations or two people. You might try to get along with certain people, so you're trying to act in a certain way when you are with certain people. It's also that you're trying to deal with yourself. It might be that you take consideration to yourself, but also the person on the outside of you, and you try to meddle a little bit in between. So you might try to, for example, temper any anger that you have, and in the same time you try to make the other person understand what it is that you want to say. So it's a hard job, but someone has got to do it, and it's a lot of twos here. So I'm thinking you are dealing with another an opposite to you, some kind of other group, or group mentality. Like it can be a soulmate, for example, that has another view of the world than you have, and you need to balance this out. For some of you, you might have a choice to make between two people as well. Then it comes a lot of twos. And here we have the Tower. So as I said, don't procrastinate too long. It might be that the divine loses patience with you. The Tower is usually how the divine is interfering in our lives by doing things that, for example, you... sorry for my voice. I'm starting to have a little bit of a cold. Okay, so it might be, for example, someone you don't want to tell something to a person. So you try to it's something that you need to say to a person, but you refuse to saying it, and then they are going to hear it from another direction, and they are going to kind of hate you a little bit for not saying it. So it's this kind of thing. It might be some kind of secret that you know is going to blow someone's mind, so you don't know what to do with it. But if you don't take a decision, or if you didn't take a decision, because this is in the past for most of you, when I'm doing this, I'm reading it's the 18th of March, so for some of you it will still be an energy that's something that can happen still, and for others it will be in the past. So if you're procrastinating too long, it might blow up in your face, okay, if you're not taking a decision. So see if we can move this a little bit, and I see something that you can't really see, and it's Aries there. So I'm moving this cloth so it will be in accordingly with the reading. And right now in April we will be in Aries, so happy birthday all Aries. And here we have the Four of Pentacles, so it seems like you are trying to hold together this fort, no matter the outside circumstances. Like you're trying to keep it all together, even though there's big forces that oppose you. It might, as I said, be the divine that's, if you're procrastinating something too long, it might blow up in your face. It's hard to advise you here. Are you supposed to tell things exactly as they are, or and just roll the dice and see what is, or are you supposed to hold your fort? I'm guessing it's a little bit of both. It usually is. It's not that simple to be a human being, because we have always this balancing that act that we need to do between the darkness and the light, between the good and the evil, between male and female, and so on. And we always need to balance ourselves in these different, like using our masculine side, our feminine side. This seems like you're using a lot with your masculine side, but here comes a little bit of femininity. The Six of Pentacles. So again, the Strength card is like you're trying to be the bigger person. You're trying to rise above something. You're trying to not be stuck in the same situation that you have been before. So you're rising above, rising above. And here with the Six of Pentacles, you also try to rise above. It's like a person trying to live... they have, like, see yourself like you're trying to live like Jesus or Buddha, and you're not really sure how to go about that. So you kind of wing it a little bit, and therefore some people only take some parts of their teaching. For example, they always turn their other cheek towards any kind of person, and they disregard where Jesus actually threw out people from different things, like the servant that was up to no good, or the merchandises from his father's temple. So if you only you try to only do one thing, it's not going to end well. It's like over functioning or under functioning. So you might be unbalanced. You might become a codependent or an abuser, if we are going to talk about these polarities again. So we always need to be in balance. A little bit of everything is usually what we need to go about. So for example, if we saw here with the Ace of Cups, you probably love someone, or have a deep connection, or it might be a beautiful talent that you have also that wants to come to surface, but you're kind of holding on with all these twos, but still it's there, and still you're holding on for sheer life. You don't want to love to shine through, or you don't want to see, like, if you have a beautiful voice for singing, for example, you don't want anyone to hear, because then it might be like people will demand things from you, and you might have stage fright or whatever. In this situation, I'm thinking you need a little bit of both, okay? For example, if you love someone and it feels like it's impossible to be with that person, that might be why you're holding on so hard. And the love might be the thing that comes like a flash here over and over again, trying to break your castle. Maybe you don't have to put up these big boundaries towards love. If you love someone that that you have kind of ruled out. You don't want them in your life anymore, but you still love them. So can't love be there in the same time as you can't be with them? I think it's just your anxiety or your anticipation that's keeping you from keeping love in your heart, even if you can't be with the person. Because if you feel the love in your heart, you also want to be with that person. You want to manifest the love. You want to manifest the thing that you're dreaming about. You can't have the dream because you think it's impossible. So you're trying to keep yourself from having the dream. But the dream is still there. So can't you accept the dream being there and just see whenever is the time to fulfill it? Or maybe it will never be the time, but the dream can still be there. Why does it have to die just because you can't manifest it? So I'm thinking this with balance, that we shouldn't be like over the moon dreaming about things that's impossible. For example, wasting our life dreaming about the neighbor when he's happily married with someone else. That can be like a person wasting their life just dreaming about another person. But maybe they can acknowledge that they are in love with this person and they don't need to be in a relationship with him. Maybe that is what's going to be the doorway to we all starting to loving people in a much higher way. For example, as what Jesus said, this with love your enemies as yourself. I have never been a big Jesus fan, but when I started to, and not even when I started, when I were becoming like, starting with the spiritual things, like in the beginning of the 90s, I wasn't into Jesus at all. But the more I learn, the more I see how truthful he was. So I'm not a religious person. I'm just I use the different teaching of different people, and with Jesus sometimes there comes a big package of you need to be a believer, you need to have trust and faith and all these things. And again, I'm thinking that is also like a person over functioning. You can't have trust and faith in everything. You need to be suspicious sometimes, because in other case you are going to be betrayed. So we need to always have a clear mind. We can't just rely ourselves to something external to us, but we can find it on the inside of ourselves. So this is a card about balance. This is a card about balance. Whatever you're trying to resist so hard, maybe it can be there. It can be there and be a part of your fortress. It can just be there. You don't have to do anything about it. See if you can let it be there and feel it inside of you. Whatever it is, this dream or this big love or this big emotion. Okay, so it's starting to get a little bit too much contrast here with the morning light coming in, but we'll see. I might have to take down the curtains. Okay, and here in the now we have the Emperor. An Emperor is, as I said, it's you, and it's connected to all the number 4s. So an Emperor needs to have great boundaries. To be able to rule their kingdom, they need to have great boundaries. Because it's going to be other kingdoms out there that wants to take your kingdom. So it's like this because we are in a manifested reality. In a higher reality, no one would care about your kingdom. But this is the rules here on earth. So you need to have boundaries, certain boundaries. Sometimes you need to give them the other cheek, and sometimes you need to put a boundary. And you can't rely on anything except your inner guidance to tell you when what is going to be needed. Okay. So there's no outer guidance that will help you. You need to look at your inside. Should I say this? Shouldn't I? Should I do this? Shouldn't I? Here we have a beautiful Queen of Pentacles. So Queen of Pentacles is usually Virgo, can be a Taurus or a Capricorn person as well. So it might be this person that you love or the person that you try to balance yourself against. And we can see they are turned towards each other. They are not looking at each other, but it's like a familiar notion between them. It's like they, and he has this tree here and the branch of a tree goes there. So it's like they're sitting on the same place. He has a little bit of a fire behind there. So, and she has a more calm environment. So he can be a little bit more fired up, and she is probably a little bit more cooler about things, more unconditional with her love, because she has also the green clothes here. I'm saying she, but it might easily be any gender, okay? She seems to be most preoccupied with this, and the emperor seems to be preoccupied with you, okay? So he's looking on the outside, and she is starting to come to look on the inside of herself. So I'm thinking this might be a partner of yours, or it might be your masculine versus your feminine side, that the masculine is trying to search for things of that will make him happy on the outside of him. He's searching for goods and glory, like big estates or glory. So he wants to have it all in a manifested form. The Queen of Pentacles doesn't need that, because she is everything in a manifested form. She is nature. She is the stargate to whom we travel to Earth. So she don't need that. She is it. So she can look on the inside of herself for the answers. And this is also a balance act, to sometimes look outside you and sometimes inside you. So to sometimes read a book and sometimes listen to your own intuition. So it's a different ways. Don't get stuck on any of these different ways of doing things. And I'm thinking they have a great relationship. He's very masculine, and here we have the divine masculine in this domesticated form lying at her feet. So I'm thinking here that the strength is of servant to earth, okay? It shouldn't be like the warrior of earth taking things and stealing it and making it to gravel. It should be like a cooperation like this, and the male energy should be a protection to your female energy. So your female energy has a hotline to God, being a stargate and all, and the masculine is like a little bit more have their attention to the outside world. So it's natural to become the protector. And inside of the Queen of Pentacles, we have the inner child, and it might be this pentacles being like a symbol here. So it's like this Russian dolls, okay? And it's beautifully arranged and very harmonious if you can do it like this, that you have a soft inside, but you have great boundaries on the outside, but you also let people see the soft inside and the true you. You're not only showing them your mask. Yes, okay. And here we have the Wheel of Fortune coming really center in this reading. So again, showing that you kind of don't have so much control in this situation. It's the divine has taken over the steering wheel, probably because they want you to make a course change of course of the direction, or to get something. So they are dragging you into some new postures and letting you loose there and see what's happened. So you can see the monkey is blind, and we have all the star signs around here, and different magical symbols here showing the different the time. Like this is a wheel also of time, so something will repeat itself, that has repeated itself over time. We also have the Two of Pentacles, that has usually the eternity symbol around the two. So it's a circle and eternity symbol. So it's some kind of karmic stuff that's coming, okay? And here we have the Judgment card. So the Judgment, it's a number 2. So it's connected to this duality, and that you need to have sometimes a frog perspective. You need to go deep and kind of break down a little bit, or have the frog perspective, like see things from your side. And sometimes you need to rise above to some kind of middle perspective, and sometimes to a upper perspective. So you can't choose one thing all the time. If you always have the above perspective, you might see that, oh, there's no problem here, no one is to blame, so you just let everyone be as they are, and it's very beautiful. But if you're supposed to raise children, for example, and you just accept them for what they are, you might let them, yes, they want to play on the streets, so let them play on the streets. Oh, there come a car. So it's not always great to have the above perspective. Sometimes we need to have the low perspective to be able to survive, or to help our progeny to survive. So we need to shift also here between different, like oscillate between different standpoints. And it's only you that can know what's needed here. With the judgment, usually it's like direct experience make you know what it is that you need to do. If you have lived it, you know it. And here is kind of how you live it. It's the chariot. So you're on your way to some beautiful new adventure. And it seems like you have your crap together, okay? It seems like you have your things together. You have the masculine and the feminine here. You have the divine with you. You have the experience. So it's like you're well equipped for this journey, okay? And here we have this Two of Swords. So it's just that you need to take a decision probably to get on your way, to start moving. And we have some steep mountains here. So steep mountains is about challenges, and these are frosty. So it's indicating that the challenge might be maybe to unfrost your feelings. We have a boiling pot here, so it's very two different polarities again, snow and something that's boiling. It's very far apart. And here you have the two trees as well, and two trees. You have the Two of Wands here and these two trees. So I'm thinking it's meaning something. It's a gateway, and to go through this gateway you need both your masculine and your feminine approach. And it's the same with the chariot, that you need two different energies needs to be put together to get the show on the road. So it's asked of you to do something that's a little bit hard, but it's easier and easier the more in tune you are with yourself, the more individualistic you are. Because if you have flock mentality, you want to lean towards something, and you want that something that you lean towards always being safe and not changing. But on this higher level where you're working at right now, things are oscillating. Sometimes it's the wrong thing to do to say things out loud, and something is the right thing to do. So it's not always silence is golden. Sometimes it can not be so golden to be silent, because it can seem as a betrayal. Okay, so that was your now, and here we're going into your future. So, and here we have the Seven of Swords. It also came for some other sign. Might be Capricorn that it came for, but it was underneath here that you have this Queen of Wands. So Seven of Swords is, sevens are always challenges, and here Seven of Swords is this with the betrayal part. Sometimes we can feel like we are very cool if we have a cool exterior. We can have sunglasses, people can't read our eyes. We can answer like with small syllables or just like small words like yes, no, I don't know. I don't know is a very good word. Have sunglasses and say I don't know, and you will become very mysterious, on the brink of being a liar. Because you can lie also if you're keeping a very cool facade. If you're keeping a very cool exterior, it's like having a mask on. And when you have a mask on, you can do a lot of stupid things behind that mask. I heard a quote the other day where they said, if you want to know the true nature of a person, give them a mask. So because if they have this mask, they can and feel like they won't be exposed. No one will know that it was them that did this. They can do whatever crazy things. And if they don't, you will know that you have a good person in front of you. But I'm thinking here that someone is putting up a mask, like someone has put up their sunglasses and their like cool protection. So you can't really know what's underneath the surface. You can only guess. And in this situation, if you have to do with a very shy person, for example, you can like easily put whatever you want up on them. So people that's great in projecting their inside on other people, if they are with a person that doesn't talk very much, maybe because they are shy, they will think, oh, she's so rude, or oh, he's so he's such a nice person, or oh, they are so mysterious. I think they have had like a beautiful adventurous life. Whatever you want, you can point on that person because you don't know them. So it can be the same in a love relationship, for example. If a person is very secretive, you can really love that person because you can put whatever you want upon them. Oh, they love me deeply. You don't know because they are not showing it, or they are this. They have such a high moral. You don't know anything about their moral because they never open their mouth. So be a little bit careful with this. Sevens are challenges, so it might be that you're challenged either with a person that's very secretive and you don't know them. They are not. So you might need to be a little bit careful, like have a little bit of boundaries towards a person that if they don't talk with you, maybe they are not supposed to be with you either. Even if it's a shy person, if they want to like have a social encounter, a shy person is a person that's protect themselves from becoming humiliated, from becoming mocked. So the question is, are they protecting the other person in the same way? Or are they like expecting always you to show the emotions, to be vulnerable, to express? Okay, so it's a way to hide away from taking responsibility as well. So don't pamper these people too much because it's not good for either you or this other person. And it might be Aries being like this also, very mysterious and acting very shy and getting a lot of advantages because of this. Never have to show what you truly want or like, or nothing. People will just assume and you go with whatever they assume, and you laugh a little bit behind their back about it. Okay, and here we have a 10 of Pentacles, and it comes with the 2 of Pentacles here, Queen of Pentacles. So I'm thinking there's one person holding back and doesn't really want to share anything, and the other person is kind of waiting, longing for commitment here, longing for a future together, longing for, and it's just this fence between you two, it seems. So someone needs to make a choice, and it might be that this queen might need to make the choice that if it's not coming over the fence to my side, maybe I would just say, okay, have a nice day and take care and bye-bye, and not putting any more effort into this because it needs to be two to have a love relationship, not just one. I see it like you have beautiful connection here, but this connection isn't that beautiful. It's one is kind of not wanting to be sacrificed on the fire, and the other one here, this is what this person is dreaming of, and it doesn't have to be a female. It can be a male in this position and a female in this position. The only thing is the person that's having a mask on, holding themselves back, doesn't want to take decisions, procrastinate, and the other person is like waiting for the other person and maybe trying to juggle like how they feel and how the other person feel. Oh, they are so shy, so I'm trying to make it comfortable for them. So it will be very comfortable for this person probably, and not so comfortable for this person. Next card, 9 of Swords. So this is when the divine comes in and mix it all up. So, and they want you to see something. So for the one that's holding back and not wants to share, this person needs to become more mature. They need to become more communicative. They need to also be able to see on their pains, because it's a person who wants to avoid a lot of things by hiding. So they're avoiding their own life, and what they're really avoiding is what's inside of them. They don't want to be humiliated. They don't want to be catched with a lie. So they are not talking at all because they have a lot of secrets, and it can be a lot of things like this. It seems here like the House of Cards needs to fall. And if you are in the other situation, you might need to sacrifice a relationship with someone that doesn't want to open up, and that can be very painful too, because you put a lot, like you put all your own qualities in this person. So all the things that you didn't know about yourself, like how beautiful you are, how smart you are, how good moral values you have, all these things you saw in this other person that didn't have any face expression, because you were just mirroring your own self, and this was what you fell in love with, and now you feel like this part has been taken away from you, because this person is taken away from you, but it's not. You need to find them on the inside. There's it's a kind of not so funny punk rock song, and it's in Swedish, so it wouldn't help you, but it's a girl singing, I have my revenge because I now have you at my inside. So the stupid guy that she once loved is now gone, and I say stupid because it's someone reacted against that too, because she thinks that it was a bad use of language. But what I'm meaning is that we're always thinking that people on the outside are stupid, but they are not stupid. But we need to see that we think that they are stupid. We can't hide behind. We need to go to the deepest level of ourselves and see, like, yes, I'm really angry with this person. I'm really like loathing about this person. And when we can see it, we can also see ourselves in there, because it's marvelous how many stupid people there are out there. And as I said to this person that comment, only you are sane. So hell is other people, and you are the sane one. And it's very funny because everyone thinks that they are the only sane one. There's a book also, Surrounded by Idiots. I think it's the title in English. I translate that from a Swedish title, where they kind of tell why we don't understand each other, because we are like so different in the way how we communicate. And here I'm thinking you are trying to communicate with yourself, and it's not getting through really. It's a person being very much in love with the shadow that they see, but they can't get to this side of them. They can't acknowledge that this is what's inside of them. So you might need to start to need to give yourself some credit, and not always put it on the outside. So I'm thinking it's a very like unjust situation here, where one person is very secretive and might be like a big fat liar, and they are still getting like all the they are being raised to this to like elevated by this other person's love for them, and how beautiful they are, and they are such a wonderful person, and all this, while this person is not getting anything, because this person is holding everything back. So it's a very unbalanced situation, and it comes for a reason, because you need to start loving yourself. Okay. And here we have the Three of Pentacles. So Three of Pentacles is this Holy Trinity. We had the witch, the warrior, and we need also the child. I said the Pentacles there was the child, and here's the Holy Trinity. So everything that's built like where there's two people and there's a third entity between them, like love, or a project, or a baby. So that's the Holy Trinity. It's when there's not just a line between two dots, but it's actually becoming third dimensional. And here we have this situation where it's third dimensional. You're working together with someone else to see something, and it's by clear experience. One person is putting up very high boundaries towards other people and protecting themselves like this, and another person might not have any boundaries at all, and therefore is cooking like really good in this pot here. I'm thinking this person is probably cooking a great deal with the Two of Pentacles, like being always a little bit like trying to balance things up and trying to be positive, trying to have a great outlook on things. So, and here it needs to be some, like through this, that you're mirroring yourself in each other, you can see this. And that's the beautiful cooperation of this situation. You don't have to say a word, just your action will speak in this situation. Because this person might just stop with the pampering of the one with a mask, the one that's silent, and that will wake this person up, and this person will be woken up by their own pain of not getting anywhere with this very stubborn person that might be an Aries, okay, but it doesn't have to. And here we have the Hangman. So the Hangman is always evolution, so it seems like you're headed towards your own evolution through the Tower, Judgment, and the Hangman. So first you need to kind of be able to it's some kind of truth, the flashes here, that you have protected yourself from. Either it's the to expose your truth to someone else, or to see the truth in someone else. For example, you can build beautiful air castles about the person, how wonderful they are, and this day you are seeing it as it really is, and then you're having the great experience of this situation. You're starting to get it. Okay, so if a person doesn't show me love, maybe they don't love me. And or when I don't show people love, they will stop giving it to me too. That's sad. And here we have the Hangman. So this is when you are kind of wrapping all these things together and digesting it, putting everything in the right position inside of you. It's like when you have learned something new, the brain needs kind of 2 weeks to get all the nerve parts, we say nerve parts, I don't know the name in English, in order, like connecting the dots everywhere in your brain. And if you have learned something day one, 14 days later, and without having to repeat the thing over and over, you will have gotten a lot more. So therefore we need to take a lot of pauses when we are learning new things, to let the brain have its time to digest. And then you have this knowledge. It's like rock solid inside of you. So it's not going anywhere. And there has been your evolution. So the Hangman is evolution, but it's not comfortable. Anything of this isn't comfortable. One person needs to sacrifice their pride. The other one needs to sacrifice their dreams. So no one is really happy in this situation. But the more you can see the reality and see what's underneath, like why you are protecting yourself against the outside world, why you're acting so cool. Yes, it's because I'm so vulnerable. Or why you are giving up everything to someone else. Well, it's because I don't love myself. So we have these two queens here, Queen of Fire and Queen of Wands. So one is very much about having boundaries, and the other one is very unselfish and giving. So you need both here to be able to get some harmony into this situation. So it wants to be harmony in this situation, but both people needs to cooperate, and both people needs to love themselves, not just one sitting in the high horses, full in love with themselves and letting other be beggars at their feet. So it needs to be balanced. Okay, so I will take oracle card for you, and we have mending. So I think these people here, there's no one that's have done anything wrong. Everyone used their like their domestication and their foundation settings to do whatever they did, and it's always about learning. You don't have to be angry with even the stupid people around you, okay? Because they think you are equally stupid. It's just teaching. You're meeting someone else that's not like you, so you will learn something. So it's no one abusing another person. It's one person letting them being abused, and the other one having fun with the abuse. So we always have a responsibility for how we are treated. It can be harder, like someone can have really hard lessons with this. If you are a slave in a factory somewhere, no, that's then you don't. It's very hard to say that you have responsibility, but you still have, because you want the money. So you're kind of being there deliberately. But it can be even worse. You can be like trafficked and locked in some room, and then you have even less that you can do about this. But the more difficult the situation is, the more higher your spiritual path is. Like you have really chosen a very great challenge for yourself, and it's only you with your own energy that can take you out of there, from that situation. And it's high spiritual practices that is needed. So certain people that's very brave souls have chosen lives like this, and the other people are looking down at them, thinking that they are the bottom feed of the world, but they are not. You will find it's like the most humble of us is the greatest souls. We can see this sometimes. I saw a beautiful video of a couple of children, sister and brother. They were eating like breadcrumbs from the street after a market, and they were some of the most incredible spiritual teachers I have ever heard when they were speaking. So we shouldn't underestimate people because of their looks. So forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. Each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal: the pain, the memories, the echoes of resentment, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others. Set yourself free. And it's always like this. We are being through a challenge. It's painful. The pain is the doorway to the knowledge. The pain is kind of the book that you got out of this experience that you had in this situation, the judgment connected to the high priestess. So the pain or the fear is always the door. If you find pain inside of you, it's wonderful. Then you had a door to the next knowledge. Go there, and it will you will find it. So this is how it's set up. But we have been so scared. We haven't really been the knights of our own missions in our own lives. We have been like, oh no, it's scary. I don't want to go there. It's the dark forest. So we have been masters of avoidance, and that has made us not so wise because we have made our lives so comfortable that we don't have so much challenges, and we are, as I said, masters of avoidance, and therefore we don't learn a thing. But here it's talking about this: you need to learn something by staying with this whatever uncomfortable thing that has happened, and stay with it until you get the knowledge out of it. You come to a place where forgiveness is necessary if you are to move forward. Separate or together, you and the other person are still experiencing the effects of hurt that is impacting everything you do, even if you're not aware of it. The energy needs to clear. What must you do to bridge the gap? Closing your heart is not the answer. You have the power to heal this wound. Ask yourself, what would love do? Only good will come of forgiveness and honest redress. Heartbreak is a strange healer of souls. Our grief strips away our masks and loosens our tight hold on our separateness, where we view ourselves as I and the world as it, the stupid people, and then there's you. Loss allows us to see ourselves as part of a larger scheme, opening us up to sympathy, empathy, and dependence on others in the moment when we can't hold ourselves together. And it leads us to become one with the greater whole again. Pain and suffering is part of our life, and none of us will be immune to it. Can you view this loss, this pain, this dissonance as a way back to source? Let your sorrow break your heart wide open. You will never be left behind. You are loved now more than ever by Spirit who does not want you to feel alone. One day you will look back and know this truth. So, pain is the doorway, and here you have it. So just sit and digest it until you get it. And yes, there will probably be cooperation still between these people because they are not turned away from each other. So there's still this, it's just a gap between what is really there and what you see. So I'm sorry for this. Next time I will take down the curtains. Okay. So, Wild Kuan-Yin Oracle for my dear Aries. They are feeling, I feel real friction with the cards right now. It's like they are super, super heavy. So it's probably a certain card that wants to come, but it's have some hesitation. That's the one. It sat really hard. So it's a message that kind of wants to come to you, but might be like it's not really there. Okay, it's something for the future a little bit, I would reckon. Blue Mother, Yellow Mountain, Gibbous Moon. Maybe it is when you get it all. 33. I reveal the path of grace on sacred earth. Echo of ancient prayers sound forth from the holy mountain. The moon shall soon be full, and darkness filled with light. Victory shall be upon you, and the hope that I ignite in your heart shall swiftly become the joy of celebration. Be serene, be peaceful, whilst the power of heaven and earth become the celestial horses driving the chariot of your soul to this divine destiny. I can't help it, but putting that there. Celestial horses driving the chariot of your soul to its divine destiny. So it's where you are going. Okay, the gibbous moon is the time just before fullness. It is only a matter of time before the light of the sun shall reach its zenith in reflection upon the earth, bringing the fullest extent of solar light into the night sky. The sun is an ancient symbol for the soul, and the maximum illumination of the soul light in the night speaks of the penetration of the soul to the fullest extent into darkness. So you get it, the gateway, the pain, the darkness, the dark forest, wherever the knight needs to go. And you need to be this brave knight going where no man wish to go. It speaks of the ultimate triumph, of the true path of your absolute destiny and soul success. So when you have actually been able to go into the forest and eventually you will kind of die before you die, nothing will really matter anymore. You are in non-resistance, and you will be like, whatever happens is fine. It's nothing that anyone can do towards you that will make you feel fear anymore, because you have put yourself in this situation of being the hero of your own story. So it's rather amazing, actually. The Holy Mother blue robes, the Holy Mother's blue robes wrap around the soul now held within her protection. Whatever attachment has been getting in the way of your actual soul success and authentic fulfillment will be subject to her intervention. So it's kind of the hangman situation when these blue robes are wrapped around you, digesting whatever is. Not only are you offered protection, but the possibility, even if you are in the midst of great change, to feel a deep sense of peace and trust within, because this is what happens when you walk to the door of your pain and your resistance and your fears. You'll find that it was just feelings and vibration inside of you, nothing else. Yes, you will know that whatever it is taking place is actually helping you achieve what will bring the most profound joy, even if on the surface things seems to be moving in unexpected and unwanted directions. Any pain shall be transformed into a blessing beyond even your wildest imaginations. There is nothing to fear or resist here, only great blessings to receive. Okay, so my dear Aries, it seems like you have, like the others, very high challenges. You are called to step into some great big shoes of yours. So I hope this helped, and I want you to take really, really good care. And I welcome you back to my mid-month April reading that I will perform in the beginning of April. Okay, bye-bye.